Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Conqueror. Been a while since we've had a Conqueror game. I don't remember if the last game that I played in the Conqueror for you guys was a 300,000 damage game, but I can tell you this one. This game right here is my new damage record for the Conqueror. Now, I think the Conqueror probably has a pretty high damage record overall, so I haven't checked to see if it's an actual damage record, but I highly doubt that it is. But, yeah, this one's going to be a doozy, folks. And believe it or not, my team is going to do everything in their power to throw this game away. So, buckle in. You're in for a doozy of a ride in this one. But you guys know the deal. We in the Conqueror, we're running Big 7. We're running Azure Lane Nelson as our commander. So the world is going to burn. Not just that, but the world is going to hurt when we hit them. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens when somebody decides that it's a cute idea to take out a triple Louisiana division. And they run into two people that know what they're doing. At least two people that they can see that know what they're doing. But Conqueror, turns out, is a hard counter for the Louisiana. And by hard counter, I mean it counters the f out of a Louisiana. As we're about to demonstrate, as we put a beat down on the triple Louisiana division on this flank. But there's also an Ohio over here, and there's a destroyer over here that deserve a little bit of the credit as well. But I'm telling you, this beat down is sponsored by some spicy meatballs, as we just absolutely wreck these Louisianas. I hope you guys are ready. Those of you who've been getting beat up by the hybrids, take the Conqueror out for a spin and just spam HE at them and watch them melt, because it's hilarious. They thought, as a triple Louisiana division, that they were immune to, you know, all sorts of problems. But I proved to them very quickly that they are not, in fact, immune. And not only that, but they are actually a detriment to their team by pushing in like a bunch of idiots. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are idiots. I'm saying what they're doing is idiotic. There's a difference. Okay? If you decide as a battleship to YOLO forward in the opening part of the map, you deserve everything that you get, right? I understand you're in a division with two other battleships, but you gotta understand, you're not immune to damage, and you're going to be focused down quickly. And if you don't understand what damage control management is, you're going to have a real bad time against Conqueror. And so you can see, I'm already in a kiting position. Why is this? Because we know that if the Louisiana gets close enough to us, we got to deal with the airstrikes. I don't want to deal with the airstrikes, right? So we stay outside of range of the airstrikes. What a crazy concept. They can't hit us if they can't drop their planes on us, right? So at the end of the day, you'll see that I'm spreading the love. I am going back and forth, just spreading the love all over these Louisianas. I know it sounds dirty because it truly is. What I'm doing to these people is dirty. This is borderline illegal, what we're doing to these guys. I'm pretty sure there's a war crime. If not, we're about to get called to the Geneva Convention real soon. Because this is disgusting. I've already put up 118,000 damage. We've only shot at, what, 4 people in this entire match? 3 of them being Louisianas? Yeah. We've already got 9 fires, too. But notice how I just keep jumping back and forth. When somebody damage controls, I go from them to the other person, and I start the fires on them so that they damage control, and then we go back to the people that already damage control, get the fires on them, and it's just rinse, repeat, and just watch them burn. And I can imagine the rage that is ensuing on these guys, and my teammates are absolutely thrilled at the concept of these guys just getting completely owned right now, and then they just get to sit around and just reap the rewards. Like, we have completely decimated this entire division, 130,000 damage and counting, as we continue to put a beat down on these guys. And this guy is all alone. There's nobody here beside him. Because his friends were all dumb. And now he's going to join them. But you gotta have... Oh, sorry. I just watched Shrek last night, so I had to. But 170,000 damage put up on those 3 we'll call them brash Louisianas. Now, unfortunately, they do take out our Ohio, but we took out 3 top-tier battleship or hybrid battleships. They took out 1 battleship of ours. That's a trade I'm willing to accept. Ohio, if you're out there, I'm sorry, but again, like, it's a good trade. However, notice what my team's doing on the other flank. Now, I can't necessarily say that what they're doing is the wrong thing. They're outgunned. Not necessarily outgunned, but they're outmaneuvered because they had 2 destroyers over on that flank. And if they stay there, they're probably just going to get torpedoed into oblivion. So retreating from that side is not the wrong thing to do in this case. I know you're probably thinking, win that side, Spartan, what happened? There are times where you need to fall back, and this is a perfect example. Fall back, defend the Bravo cap. Did you see me ping the cap? I've let my team know what we need to do to win this game. My 2 destroyers that are behind me at Alpha, one of them already captured the Alpha cap. We have the 2 cap over 1 advantage. We have killed 4 of them, so we have a massive points lead. As long as our team doesn't do anything crazy, we can easily win on points. We just simply have to defend the B cap. What happens next can only be described as World of Warships Legends teammates at their absolute finest. Now, don't get me wrong, there are diamonds in the rough, and we'll point them out when they get there. But for now, what you're about to see is my team actively try to throw this game. We just hit that Yama at maximum range for 2 fires. Now, what do we know about the Yama? He already damage controlled. How do we know this? Because we're not getting damage over time ticking up on our damage counter, right? So, we immediately go back to it. We also know that the Yamato has a very short damage control duration, meaning his damage control is already on a cooldown, so if I do get a fire, it's a perma-fire, right? These are the little keys that you have to key in on during a match, especially if you're playing a fire spammer like the Conqueror. You also got to understand that the Conqueror has very flat armor. So, especially at range, but even at mid-range, you definitely cannot get caught broadside. This thing just gets shredded by everything. And Yama will counter you just as easily as you counter it if you're not using the belt properly. But you'll notice that multiple times we get into engagements with these Yamas, and they shoot at my belt. Why is that? We call it lifting the skirt, right? We open it. Now, there was a shot from another Yama that hasn't been spotted yet. Okay? He's moved all the way around the flank. Why hasn't he been spotted? Because my battleships are all running away. And again, I don't hate the play to move out of that area. And you can see my destroyers are going in here and countering their destroyers at the cap. These are the guys that I'm talking about that are actively trying to win the match. The destroyers. The battleships aren't. They're actively going to try to throw. Now, we do lose our Shimakaze here, which is unfortunate, but between the Shima and our other destroyer, we do manage to get rid of one of their DDs, right? So that's huge for us. Now, I do get some damage here on the Worcester, but I know that in a game against the Worcester here, this is not going to end in my favor. He has the DPM advantage. He is going to tear me apart. Conqueror does not do well against light cruisers, even if it's HE spam. But Conqueror also doesn't do well if we get caught by the Yama, so we got to move forward. Now, when we move forward, we've got to try to manage our damage controls. We got to try to mitigate the amount of damage that we take. We know that we already got rid of one of the destroyers, and I'm going to go through my thinking during this next. Now, we're already 236,000 damage. Just register that in your mind for a little bit as we go ahead and start working on this Yamato again. Think of the amount of damage of all the people that we've shot in this match that we've personally taken off of these ships. Like, this is absurd amounts of map control for one battleship. And you can hear the plink, plink, plink. That is them shooting at my belt, thinking that they're going to get a big hit. But because I'm angled, all they get is plink, plink, plink. So you can effectively use the armor belt against Yamatos in the Conqueror. But you've got to be at a very good angle. If you get caught over-angled, it's a bad time. And you can absolutely melt Yamatos as well. They can melt you back with that armor piercing, but the amount of damage and damage over time that you can put on a Yamato, this is one of the few ships that can just absolutely obliterate Yamatos in a one-on-one fight. But as you can see, if they start getting smart, they can obliterate you right back. Now here, my thought process, Yamato just went behind the island, right? I'm spotted. Who has line of sight on me? The destroyer, right? Pretty simple. He spots me, I don't see him. Now, I have no idea where this destroyer is. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe the destroyer doubled back with the other destroyer, took the outside edge. But look at my team actively throwing this. We had 3 battleships back there, and now we only have 1. Why? Because they're just sitting broadside to a goddarn Yamato. Why? Now, I know what you're about to say. Spartan, you're about to back out broadside in front of the Yamato too. But he just fired his guns. We get our shot off. We're going to try to hit him and get some fires and damage controls. We're up to 22 fires, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I got 23 fires. He immediately damage controls a single fire. What do we talk about when we say don't damage control single fires very often? Like, it almost always backfires on you, right? It's a stupid idea. And it almost always makes you regret it. So we're going to go ahead and take a shot here at the Yamato and try to get that perma fire that we know we can get. He's definitely going to chunk us here. There's nothing we can do about that. We're going to go ahead and use one of our last 2 heals. We do get the perma fire on him, so that's good news for us. And that's when the destroyer actually gets spotted on the Louisiana behind us. And I'm like, okay, that's not good for me. I mean, it is good for me because I can move forward and be safe from him. Now, Yamato is going to get another shot at us here before we can get moving forward. Again, Conqueror, not the best ship for juking people, right? So we know we're going to take a hit here, and he gets a much better salvo than I was hoping for. But he absolutely crushes us, and that's the mistakes that you make, right? You play with RNG long enough, somebody's going to get lucky. And that being said, he only gets one of those big shots in, and then we're going to move around the corner. Now, I'm trying to stay away from the Worcester. But unfortunately for me, the Worcester is trying to come get me. They must know that I am a key to this team's victory, considering I am the one that's absolutely ruined their entire team. And while I was coming forward to protect myself from who can shoot me, right? Like, we're trying to actively try to avoid getting shot here by using the island to protect us from both Yamatos. And the Worcester is actively going to come out and play. Now, this is where we're going to get into a big trouble. Remember what I said about the Worcester being a huge counter to us, right? The DPM cruisers. I go ahead and switch over to AP because I know that this guy just saw me shoot HE at him, and he probably thinking, oh, he's just going to shoot HE. So I'll go broadside, get all my guns on target. But he doesn't realize I'm about to load AP and send this man to the Shadow Realm. Are you ready? Wait for it. And shot out. Beautiful grouping. Bonk! Is what I would say if we actually got to send the man to the Shadow Realm. It is absolutely painful to play a person that hard and then just let RNG screw you over. That should have been a kill. Think about it. Conqueror armor piercing versus a light cruiser that's broadside. How is that not a kill? Come on. I'm sorry. That should have been killed. There should have been at least a Citadel in there somewhere, right? But at this point, our team is losing the match. But it's not over. And I get into the chat. You'll see me get into the chat. I'm like, dude, all I need you to do is kill this battleship. We win. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just kill this Yamato for the love of God, and we win. Our team, and I even said, I was like, I did everything I could. I put up 340,000 damage. All you got to do is finish this guy off and we win. The team tried to throw. I just need you to bail us out. Guy's not in chat, by the way. I don't know if he heard it. All I know is we're in trouble. He misses his torpedo drop on the battleship, and he is actively running away. Now, I understand why he's trying to distance himself from the Yamato, but at the same time, like, you got to be on the timer here. If that Yamato was smart, he would have stayed behind that smoke screen and never came out, and we would have lost this match. Fortunately for us, that Yamato's an idiot, and I am going to just go ahead and say that. Like, this guy is an idiot. He knows that the only thing left is a destroyer. He knows the destroyer is in this direction, and all he had to do was hide. Now, the smoke does dissipate. Okay, I just realized that. So, the smoke did dissipate. So, he couldn't have hidden for the entire duration of the game. But putting yourself in a situation like this to get countered by the one destroyer left, to lose your team the match after they just battled their way back in, is what makes people lose their god-darn minds. But fortunately for us, the enemy team throws after our team tried to throw. And it just comes down to, once again, a game of throws. But I hope you guys found this one entertaining, because I certainly had a heart attack at the end. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh my God, we're going to lose another 300k game. This is going to be ridiculous. I didn't even realize I had that much damage until I died. I ain't gonna lie. I had no idea. I was so, like, in the moment focused on what was going on. We put up 26 fires, 116 targets hit, only got a single kill. We got a defense ribbon in there. We shot down 3 planes, and we got a Confederate high caliber and an arsonist, I think. It was that or a witherer, one or the other. But 340,000 damage. My second highest damage game of all time, or maybe my highest damage game of all time. I don't remember what my Yamato game was. It was either 334 or 340. I can't remember. But if that's the case, this might be my best game of all time. And almost was a loss. What do you got to do, man? I'm telling you, these people going to give me a heart attack, man. I'm going to have a stroke one of these days. But let me know if you guys enjoyed this, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.